Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my 2021 Classics TBR. So I haven't quite done one of these before. I've done like a few books that I want to read in the next year. And one year I did like this whole series of books in like a lot of different genres, and I did like the top 5, and that just completely failed for me. So I'm not sure how this is going to go, but these are the 12 books I want to read within this year that are classics. 2 of them are modern classics, and the other ones are all older than that. I just feel like I need to put this list out just to remind myself that these are the books I want to read. They're all the ones calling to me right now. All the ones that I'm not letting myself, like, some of them pick up right this minute, although one of them I kind of did. But they're ones I want to get to in this next year to move forward on classics that I've wanted to read, series that I want to get through, and also big books, because those are my focuses this year. So the first 6 are ones that were written in English, and the last 6 are all my translated works. So let's get into it. So I want to read Villette by Charlotte Bronte. I'm trying to finish all the Bronte books, and I have 2 books left of Charlotte's. I have The Professor and then this one. I put this one on the list because this is the bigger one. This is the one a lot of people either like or dislike a lot. Like, I'm not, again, a lot of these are polarizing books. This one's definitely one of those that some of them say this is their favorite book by Charlotte Bronte. And so far, I've really liked Jane Eyre and Shirley, surprisingly. So I do want to read this year. And this was published in 1853. So, and it's talking about a woman who becomes a teacher, I think, in another country from England. So I think she goes off, and then it's her interactions with people. But anyway, I do want to get to that this year. I'd also like to read more Wilkie Collins. I picked Jezebel's Daughter because this is one I started in Victober this last year, and I just didn't get to finish it. I just had too many books already started, so I put it back down and I didn't pick it back up. So this is one I still want to read. It is about a woman who is trying to get her daughter married, and then there's another guy who's trying to stop her for some reason. I don't know why yet, because I didn't get that, I didn't get far into it. But it, like, they're in a deathly struggle, and one of them doesn't survive, and I don't know how it goes. So I do want to read that for more mystery and sensational novels. I also want to read more Charles Dickens. Oliver Twist is the next one on my list. I am trying to read at least one a year. So I got, this is the next one I wanted to go back and try to get some of the older ones, to get back to the middle to end ones, which are really good. I want to read some of the older ones. And Oliver Twist is the next one on the list to try. So again, Orphan, Thieves, I don't know what's going to happen. This year, I want to read Middlemarch by George Eliot. I've been putting this off for years. It's definitely a book that I knew about in my 20s, back in college, and heard about it from people, but I just wasn't into it at the time. I was much more in the Jane Austen time frame at the time. I didn't read much Victorian literature, so it's only in the last 5 years or so that I've been thinking about this book, going, I think it's time for me to finally read this. And I just, every year, put it off as March comes by and I read something else. So this year I'm going to read this, not in March, probably some other month, because I already have plans for March. But this is definitely a book I want to try this year. I know some people just adore this book, and I really want to read her and get into more of her books. I really like Silas Marner that I read last year. I know it's not the same as this book and some of the other ones, but I still want to read this one. This is the one I picked to read next. And again, Middlemarch is about the area and all the people who inhabit there and their relationships and things. And then the last Victorian one that I have in here is Barchester Towers by Anthony Trollope. This is book 2 in the Barsetshire series. So this is one of the series I want to continue this year. I read The Warden over 2 years ago, and I really enjoyed it, considering that it's not supposed to be the best book in the series. So I did like it, and I tried to continue into this one, and then life just got in my way, and I had to set it down for reasons. So I only got about 100 pages in, so I'll restart it and finish this out. Would really like to read at least another one of the series as well, so I could get halfway through the 6-book series. But we will see. I will try to at least read book 2. This is mostly about this area called Barchester, and it's about church politics in a lot of ways. A new bishop comes to town, and it's all the inhabitants' reactions, and also the new bishop and the one who didn't get the job, and a family that comes back it kind of throws everybody into kind of a tizzy. So that's as far as I got. It was really interesting at that point. And then I also want to read more Anne Radcliffe. This is the Mysteries of Udolpho. So she writes Gothic novels. This is 1794 this was published. So I have still several of her books that I want to read. I'm trying to read at least one a year to get through them. And this is the big chunker one. So I do want to get through this one though. It's definitely going to have those romantic elements and Gothic sceneries and people trying to kill each other and, you know, lovers who can't be together because they're torn apart by other forces. This has to do with Emily, who is orphaned and goes to live with her aunt, and her aunt has a new husband who is out for her money. And that's about all I know about it. I don't want to know anymore. But I hear this is supposed to be one of the good ones. And again, I've just been wanting to read this for so long, but I'm finally going to read that one. And then for translated, the first one I have is a Japanese modern classic, which is the Makiako Sisters by Junichiro Tanizaki. Sorry about that. I totally butchered that. I've been saying it like 4 times today already. This is translated by Edward G. Sticker. So from the Japanese. So this was, I think it was serialized or something because it has the dates 1943 to 48 listed. So I'm guessing it was broken up into parts. Anyway, so this has to do with 4 sisters in Osaka pre-World War II. And I think it's their lives and relationships and things with their decisions in their lives. And I hear it's really good. And I got this as a gift from Sarah at the Bookish Knitter for winning one of her drawings for her Create Your Own Readathon back in 2019. And she sent me this book and I'm like, I haven't read it yet. And I meant to read it in 2020 and it just slipped my mind. So I definitely want to read this year. For Russian, I have The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. So I'm not sure exactly when this was published, but I know he wrote it in the 30s, I think, in the 1930s, and then he couldn't get it published until the 60s. I think that's how this goes. I'm not positive. But this was translated from the Russian by Diana Bergen and Catherine Tieran O'Connor. And this is the one I'm not quite sure of all the books. This is the one I'm not sure I'm going to get along with because it's about the devil goes to Moscow and I think he's a cat or something. Or has a, you know, cat head or body. I don't know. I've heard so many people really, really enjoy it, and I just feel like this might not be a book that works for me due to it's talking about, I think, the politics in the 30s. So we'll see. I'm kind of curious. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure. I also want to Victor Hugo's Les Miserables, which is translated from the French by Norman Denny. This was published in 1862. So, huge chunker. This is the one I'm not quite sure I'm going to get to. I really want to because it's one of the oldest books on my TBR, personal physical TBR. I bought this in early 2001, 2, or something around there from Borders. Anyway, but I watched the play with my family and then I bought the book and I just never read it. So, it is one of his books I want to read. I did read The Hunchback of Notre Dame last year. And so I really wanted to get to this year, but that just didn't happen. 2020. But this is the one I want to try to get to this year. But it's kind of lower on this list of all these. I want to get to it. It might not be this year. And again, all I know about that is that it is a criminal who's on the run, and then the cop that's after him, and then I don't know, other people that I don't know. I don't remember. And then more French ones is the Vicom du Baglion by Alexandre Dumas is the 3rd book in the D'Artagnan romances, so following the 3 Musketeers and 20 years after. This book I did start last week because I realized it was on my 5-star predictions list and I forgot it, but I put it down and I'm going to start it in January and it'll probably be the first of the classics that I read in this stack. I really want to read the D'Artagnan romances and finish this series. Been meaning to for years. I'm really, this is about 1660s and Louis, I think the 14th. And again, D'Artagnan is now in his 50s. All the Musketeers are pretty older now. And I'm waiting to see what happens with all the people in that. I'm just excited. I only got about 100 pages in, but so I'll get back into that. But the one I really am excited for of all these is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. This one was, translated by David Coward. And this one is translated by Robin Buss. So I have been putting this off for years, and I have been meaning to read this, but I wanted to finish the D'Artagnan romances, but I haven't done it. So I've decided this is the year. I don't care. 2021 is going to be The Count of Monte Cristo. I am going to get this done. I'm going to read this in March. Hopefully hopefully they're doing the March of the Mammoths. So I'm hoping to that. I've already talked a little bit to Summer at Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats to do a buddy read, so there might be a few of us who are going to do this in March, so I'm really excited. I really want to get this book read. Again, it's about classic revenge plot of a man who was imprisoned wrongly by some jealous people, and then his revenge, and then there's all this other stuff that I don't know about because I haven't read it yet, so I really want to read that. I'm most excited about that one. And then the last one is The Betrothed by Alessandro Manzoni. And this is an Italian classic translated by Bruce Penman. And this was published in 1827, and it is also in the 1620s, and has to do with an area that's occupied by Spain, I believe. And then so there's those kind of conflicts. This couple, of course, wants to get together, but some man is, threatening that. He wants the woman, whatever. I don't know how it goes. And then something like, I think there's plague involved. There might even be war and stuff. I'm not sure. But I know that they have all these crazy people who are trying to keep them apart. So it just sounds great. And I really want to read this book. So I don't even know where I saw this last year, but it's been on my list and I finally got it. And then, and I'm working on trying to get a buddy read together with Kim at the middle of the book March, because she just got the book. So I'm hoping we're going to do this here in the next couple months. I'm really excited to try this. I don't have any other Italian classics on my bookshelf. So if you guys have any suggestions of ones that I should be picking up that I should know about, I mean, I'm not talking about the really ancient ones, but like, more in the, 17, 1800s, that would be really cool. I just don't have any. 1900s. Anyway, and there'll just be something different. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. So those are all the classics I would like to get to in the next year. I'm hoping to get through most of these. I don't say I will get through all of them, but these are the ones I want to hit. So are there any of these classics you think I should definitely read no matter what? Or are some of these your favorites? Let me know if you have a TBR for the next year, like what classics you think you're going to pick up, and tell me about them. Anyway, we'll check back in a year and see how this went. Anyway, so I will talk to you guys later. Bye.